Alrighty, are we up and running? Looks like I'm coming through. All right. Yeah, what's up, guys? How's it going? Yeah, there's no intro music this time around, mainly because like before I would have intro music because when I started a stream, then like I'd have to start the stream and then people would have to wait like a minute or so to get notified. Yeah, it's me wearing white. I never wear white. I like wearing white because I never wear white, and when people see me wearing white, they're like, "Will, what are you doing?" So I like wearing white every now and then. But that's the thing is I don't play music at the beginning of the streams anymore because people already know about the streams. There's already like a, what, 2 day buffer, so people are already ready. There's no point in me playing an intro song. You guys are already here. Well, now that I am wearing white, the darkness on my camera is seriously messed up. So let me go into let me configure this. Let me turn up the brightness. Okay, there we are. What's this contrast? Let me fix it up a little bit. It's a little too bright. I am very pale. I'm a very pale human being. Yeah, I have a tattoo. No, I didn't repaint them. I might, especially if I have to go to band practice with a couple of other people. But because we all do that for the band look. But all right, cool. I think we can go ahead and get started because there's already people. There's definitely already people in the Discord. People have already started submitting. Congratulations, Ray. Is it pronounced Ray? I hope it's pronounced Ray. Congratulations, Ray, for being the very first one on the list this time around. I definitely see you in most of these feedback streams, and you always give us some solid stuff. But yeah, this is the live stream feedback channel in our Discord. If you want to go there and you can submit tracks for feedback, definitely the people who get in early are going to have the highest chance of getting their track played. So if you have something to submit, I recommend submitting it now. I recommend submitting it now. But yeah, so I think we should just go ahead and get going. I checked the levels before stream, but if anything's weird level wise, then just let me know and I will correct. I'm a professional streamer. I know what I'm doing. All right, let's get it going. Also, I don't have my phone. My phone is currently busted. I can't even open it up. The touch, it doesn't work. It's completely busted. So I can't even open it to have my stream up. I just have to trust you guys to let me know if something's wrong. What do you think of my new logo made by Star Counter? Let me get a... It looks cool to me. It's a tiny pixel on my screen, but it looks cool to me. I like the intro so far. This is sick so far. This is dope. I like it a lot. I think, especially compared to like the other tracks I've heard, I think your mixing in this is actually pretty dang good. It's got like a sizzly high end. It's not dull. It's sounding nice and powerful. I like it. I think the one thing I have a little trouble with is I don't really like the drums. I think I just want it to punch harder. It needs to be like a, I need to feel the punch. Whereas the kick seems kind of like thumpy and thuddy as opposed to punchy, and the snare doesn't have a ton of like. Doesn't sound like a slap in the face. It's just kind of a, you know what I'm saying? It's not as, it doesn't hit as hard as I want it to. I want it to hit really hard. But especially for like mid-tempo like this, that's strong, I want something that has nice and punch. But let's see, sidechain people are talking about. Now I think the sidechain is fine. You just need a little bigger drums to fill out that space. You know, that's the only thing I'm hearing. But I think it's like you've really improved mixing wise, and I like these sounds. It sounds aggressive. It sounds alive. I like it. Also, I like the new profile pic. Hey.
Booting external bios.
Good track layout as well. I would have liked to hear more of a build up to the second drop. I would like to hear more risers, and like there's areas in here. It's a nice length. There was space for a build up. I would have liked to hear that, but I think this thing sounds dope. I like it a lot. I think my criticism, I was seeing if there was anything I could hear in the second drop that I would critique, but I think it all sounds great. I'd say just like more of a build up for the second drop, and maybe make those drums punch harder. I really need to feel those. It seems a shame to have like basses that cool and like that kind of energy without drums that really punch you. I need some of that. But overall, this thing is sick. I think you did a great job. A solid start to a feedback stream. I'm gonna try to really keep this moving. I know I say this every time, but I really do mean it. It's like I'm going to try to keep these moving forward so I can get to a fair amount of them in the stream. I think that's only fair. Uh-oh. We got something fun here. Crank this. Industrial. It all seems very compressed. I think it might be a little too over compressed, but it's sounding cool. Need sizzly high end here. There we go. Okay. this sounds dope. I like how it's just sort of like strangely laid out in more of a progressive way. It's not like a traditional way of laying out a song. I think one of the biggest problems is I think you need to make sure that your frequency spectrum is being like filled out in all parts of the track, because there will be one point where there's like a bass that has a lot of high end that's very sizzly, and then you'll go to the guitar, which the guitars naturally don't have as much sizzly high end, so you usually have to make up with that for like cymbals, especially when you're mixing it with bass. But even with guitar not having as much natural sizzly high end, I think the guitar cabinets or the amp sims that you chose are a little too, they contain it a little too much. I'd probably crank the drive a little bit more and pick some, like a particular guitar amp sim or whatever you use that's a little more open and lets out more higher frequencies and is a little bit more crunchy, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to like really contained and squashed in. I think overall the track is compressed a lot, which I think it's a little over compressed. That isn't exactly working in your favor, but a little bit punchier drums, and like this thing is sick. You have some dope riffs in here. It's awesome. I love the way you mixed it with basses. I think it really does sound dope. I love the style. Awesome. Yeah, that was a dope track. I saw you have the mark of the Slayer, seal of the Doom Slayer, whatever it's called there in the corner, so I can definitely tell that the stuff you make. Oh, well, that's your icon. I didn't even see. That's your icon. I can definitely tell that it's Doom related, and I think you're 100% on the right track. Like, this is definitely Doom style. I love it. Sounds cool. Yeah, I just do kind of what I said, just fix the compression, fix that up because it's a little too over compressed, and make sure that the frequencies are filled out throughout the entire track. All right, business. I haven't seen that before. Means business. Oh, it is the banana. I didn't even realize that. Anyway. Dang, that was cool. I mean, it's definitely a work in progress. It's nice and short, but wow, that was sick. I actually like that a lot. It felt like two different sort of vibes, like the intro as opposed to the drop, but I think you blended them together really well. Like when the drop came, it was a pleasant surprise. It didn't like come out of left field. So I think it was a really good mix. Shark style, yeah, true. Does Sharks use a lot of leads? I don't know. I haven't heard many leads in his music, but maybe I just haven't listened to too much of his music. But man. I like that a lot. I will say the lead is kind of mono, so perhaps, and that's totally fine, you can have the mono lead, so maybe I want those like sort of color basses, melodic rhythm basses in the background, maybe, or not just in the background, just below it. Maybe I want those spread out a little more, so you have like lead and then the basses kind of stuff. Obviously sub bass remains mono, but like maybe you could have some more stereo in that, and like that could be a lot of fun just to kind of balance it out to make it less mono heavy. But I'm just nitpicking. Like honestly, this is dope. Some people are saying that I think I heard someone say, yeah, the melody is too hard to predict. Yeah, sort of. But I mean, I feel like the chaos of it is sort of part of the charm. That's just, it's just personal opinion. That could go either way. That's kind of neither here nor there. That's just my thought. But yeah, finish this. It sounds dope. You got an awesome thing going. Keep the neon banana though. That's my only request. Keep that. That stays. Very nice. My cat's scratching on I can hear him. You might hear meows in the background. He talks a lot. All right. We're just a centimeter apart. It's another work in progress. Oh, do we have like jazz chords here? Have like a Foley atmosphere in the background there. That'd be cool. Reverb on that vocal. Nice. This is sounding dope. I like it. I think it has a really cool, really cool melodic content in it. I like the way the chords and the vocal and everything work together. I like the chop. I think that was dope. I think it could have a little more atmosphere in the intro. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe have some Foley in the background of that intro and put some reverb on that vocal. Like I said, the snare does sound weaker than the kick, but then again, it's a trappy snare. So maybe you could layer the snare. Maybe you could just leave it the same way it is. But my suggestion would probably be for the chords, and this is something that I do a lot when I'm making chords, is I'll have at least 2 chord layers, especially when you're doing something that's very chord heavy like this, is I'll have one chord layer that's pretty not detuned, you know what I'm saying? Like it has plenty of voices, right? The chord has plenty of voices, but they're not crazy detuned. They're pretty clean sounding, and these particular chords are pretty clean. And then I'll layer it with chords that are very detuned, and they're kind of dirty, and they sound kind of not great on their own because they're so detuned and wide and spread out. And when you layer those two together, you'll get the aggression of the detuned along with the cleanness of the more clear chords. So you have kind of 2 layers going there. That's probably something I recommend here because I think the chords are a little too clean. But I don't know. I like it. I think it's okay. Also, maybe the spots where the vocal is very heavy in the frequency spectrum, you can maybe dip out a little bit of the chords in that region, just so the vocal has kind of a space to sit in the mix. But anyway. Oh, 67 new messages and feedback. Jeez. Y'all are quick. I like these vocal layers. I actually really do like those vocals, especially in the last bit. I think the vocals are really nice. They need more atmosphere and reverb and stuff. That's what I'm missing with them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, overall, I think just what I've said before, it makes sense. I'm not gonna do stuff from the private chat because I have no clue where that is on the. I have no clue where that lies in the particular. What am I trying to say? I have no clue who submitted before you or who submitted after, so I can't do that. But yeah, like accept the rules in the channel, and there should be a live stream feedback thing right there as long as you go in and accept all the rules. But yeah, I like this. I think it was pretty good. I think it's a good work in progress. Just add those extra details and clean everything out. And we move. We got Yaks. I don't particularly like that piano sound. I'd pick a different one. Either one. That was dope. That was awesome. At first, the intro, I was like, okay, it sounds kind of cool. And then you got into the actual verse, and it was sick. I was like, whoa, this is actually well done. And the build-up was really cool. I will admit, the first bass that hit, I wasn't super impressed with. That one right there. Maybe it was like a little too mono or in the back, but... then the chords came in and it sounded so good. I like it. I think one of the only things I would probably add to this, like if this was a collab and I had this project on my computer or something, I'd add more atmosphere to the background. Like, you know the trick where you take crowd noise and you make it quiet and stereo and you sidechain it and you put it in the background just so there's a just in the background of like a crowd. I'd totally do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would totally work. I think the growl is not bad. I just think it could be a little more upfront is what I'm saying. It sounded a little too in the back and mono, you know? But like versus the chords that were very heavy and very wide. But I mean, this thing sounds dope. Also, I'm doing great.
Another day.
That was dope. I think that there's a little bit of trouble from the switch between very melodic to like all of those basses and like that crazy sort of like tear out rhythm style. Ow!
Another day.
Like it almost sounds like it's out of key, even though it may not be out of key. You may have done it perfectly in key, but the fact that there's no real like, you have like another day, and then it just goes into something that's very like atonal. It doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. But I mean, the drop itself is dope. I think a lot of the sound design doesn't necessarily sound modern. It sounds like something I'd kind of hear in like 2015 or something like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad either. It just kind of, it kind of sounds like a different track. You know what I'm saying? It kind of sounds like this belongs in a different track. It's not bad. It's just a little hard for it to fit together. Could you give a feedback chat? You could feedback chat here. Live stream chat. Let's see, it's not out of key because there's no key in dubstep. There is a key in dubstep drops. Get out of here. In most of them, there is a key. Not all of them, but a good amount of them. This feels like one where there should be a key because the rest is still like, it's still melodic, so it feels like it should have a little bit of a root. But anyway. Filtering the bass, that could be a good idea. That might help a little bit. F minor is a good key. Cool. Oh, that sounds like the same downlifter from Don't Play, I think is that one song with all the Disciple people. But I want to real quick just like feel this first drop again. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, so far this is gonna stay up here for my favorite track so far in the stream. Despite my like criticism, I do think this track is sick. So that Disciple Get Lemon down sample, yeah, something like that is dope. But this thing is dope. It's staying up here for right now. So far this is my favorite. Okay, well well there you go. You gotta react. Me reacting with joy. I meant to just open it up. This is Disciple, We Don't Play.
Why do we take what we can get? Why do we fight until
I don't think it's addictive keys. Could be though.
Why do we forget how to live? Each night we sleep only to rise again.
This sounds like it would be nice.
It's just a false peace. It's like the weight of the world crashing down on me. I can feel it
Oh, I like that low pass lead. That's cool. I like that kind of drop. It's like, it's in the background, but it still feels like it's kind of getting closer. I don't know. I like it. I don't hear that vibe all the time. I think it's really cool.
we take what we can get.
And I expect it's going to get like more intense and going to be more upfront later as well.
Why do we fight until we split? Why do we forget how to live? It's like the weight of the world crashing down on me. I can feel it
That's awesome. I like this a lot. I don't hear this kind of style all the time. Like, it's cool to hear something new. And I think, like, maybe this isn't new. Maybe it's just not a style that I've gone into much. But I think this is dope. I like it. It's really chill. It's really vibey. There isn't a lot of high end, but then again, I don't feel like I was really missing it. Like, I feel like the point is that it's just a little more subtle and a little more kind of drawn back. You know what I'm saying? It's not as like super crispy and heavy the way other things is. I think this is great. I honestly don't have much criticism. Like, it's a nice track. It's not a crazy length. I'm totally cool with that. I think it's dope. I think it sounds really good. Good creativity here. Very good creativity. I approve. The low end is for like having so many things taking up the mid to low end. It's mixed so damn well that I just really appreciate that too. But all right, let's do this. The hunt begins. It's very compressed, but it sounds cool. In your face. Yeah, it's Kai watching style. I'm just picking on you. But I think to be honest, I really do think this sounds cool. I think it sounds cool, but there's something wrong is that when the drop comes, all the high end goes away. And I don't exactly know why that is in the mixing. It is a very compressed track, but listen to the build up and then it goes into the drop and the high end just like, whoosh, it ducks down. Like, crispy high end. And it goes away. It needs that like kind of aggressive textures on top. So maybe it's due to like over compression, you know what I'm saying? Just make sure that high end energy stays during the drop, because I can tell this thing sounds cool. The snare is a little strange. It is like very clappy, which is fine, but it's very mono as well. I'd want to maybe hear a little more stereo through that. But yeah, that's just my main concern is really just that high end energy really dipping down in the drop. It makes it harder to really vibe with it. But I can tell that if that were corrected, this thing would be sick. Even on the drums. I do love the rhythms that you're using here, and I can tell the sounds are good, you know? And back into melodic. Cool. Yeah, I think this thing sounds dope. It's really just what I mentioned that I would like to change just to keep the energy up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I could tell you really have a good idea of like laying things out and like constructing and sculpting a good drop. It's just mixing stuff, and that many times that's one of the hardest parts. But overall, this is pretty sick. It's pretty dang sick. All right, got Pyro Beats. Let's see what you got. Ah, this track was not found. Okay, let's see. Hold up. If you Pyro Beats alt account wish to send me a private message, you know what I'm saying, then I will open it up because I know that you're probably in the chat, and I know that and you can shoot me over the link and I'll go in here. Yeah, because we will listen to that. I see where you are in line, so I can do that. But if you want to shoot that over, I'll just listen to this one first. Sea Peaches. Yeah, we want to hear it. What's up? How's it going? We've got something a little more chill. Oh yeah, maybe you could just edit his submission. Oh, okay, it's a sidechain. It took me a minute to see what was going on. Add like a little percussion or a hi-hat in place of a kick. I don't know if that synced up properly. This sounds dope. I think this actually sounds really clean. It sounds really good. It's nice and filled out. The mix is really smooth and nice. I will say the piano is a little heavy on the right, which is totally fine because especially with the high end of a piano, it's meant to be like with those high keys, it's meant to be a little more right. But when you have that other synth come in, maybe you could like pan the synth a little bit to the left. My rights and lefts are reversed for you guys, but maybe pan that a little bit to the left just to balance it out a little bit, or when anything else comes in, just pan it out and it'll balance out and it would be very balanced. That's the only thing, but this is just nitpicking. That's just a thought that I had. Yeah, the panning sounds fine. I'm not complaining about that. You just could use some balance on the other side. I like the melodies here. You have that guitar in there. And summer's over. It is very repetitive, that is true, but I think the only reason that's an issue is that, well, it's not necessarily just an issue, because I think the repetitive nature is sort of found amongst this style a lot. A lot of it just repeats. That's sort of part of the vibe. It might be a little long, perhaps, you know, maybe you disagree, but a lot of times when there's a style or a track that has a lot of repeating elements, especially melodically, usually what I recommend is you don't have to take away that repetitive nature. You might be able to just make the song a little shorter. Maybe that's the solution, you know. It's different for everyone. A lot of times that's the solution for me. That it's very common for me to recommend that, but that's kind of to taste, you know what I'm saying? Overall, I think this is pretty well done. It is a little heavy on the right side with nothing there to balance, but that's just kind of nitpicking. I think this track is really well done for the style. It's simple, not in an insulting way. Like it's simple and understandable. Like it's a good track. I think it's really solid. Very well done. See, I can't open my phone, but I can still see notifications. It'll still send me notifications. It just won't respond to my touch. That's my problem. So I can see myself getting notifications that I can't open. I have to take it to the shop. Anyway, let's see. Pyro Beats. I haven't got a message, and it doesn't look like it's edited. I don't know if there's a way I can refresh it just like here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's possible, but Pyro Beats, if you want to, I'm Will in the Ghosthack staff. If you want to send me a message or whatnot, then I can review your track. But we got Extractor here, who's definitely in the chat. The goldfish. Oh, okay. Where's the goldfish? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, did I steer? Oh, I didn't even see. Okay. Okay, here we are. Let's review this one. I didn't even make that connection. Grime, okay. When you say grime, is this meant to be like some UK kind of rap stuff, that kind of grime, or a different kind of grime? There's a gap. I will say, I'm thinking of feedback to give to this, but I will say from the little that I've looked into grime and like drill, especially in the UK, a very common thing that I hear is that Americans will never understand grime. That's a very common thing that I hear. So keep in mind, my feedback is not from someone who I'm probably not the person you want feedback from, I guess. For this kind of style, I could tell you something that's completely wrong, and that's just my American opinion about UK rap. But it sounds like it would be kind of hard to fit good vocals this with the flute and like the wind instrument being so loud in the background. Like it takes up a lot of those frequencies that are very commonly taken up by that are very commonly taken up by the human voice. So it could be a little bit difficult for someone to put lyrics under that. But that's just my initial thought, especially given what I would hear in like drill as well, because drill seems to take care of that. But it does sound sick. I do like it. I like those percussions. The snare is dope. The 808 is really cool. It's really hitting hard. I like it when it's lower. I feel like if there was a part where you utilize this lower flute a little bit more, like parts like that, I want to hear more of the lower bit because I really do like it. I think it's dope, especially, but like the pattern's dope. I think overall this is very well done. It's very well done. It's really punched through the master, which sounds sick. Drill is more Chief Keef. Yeah. It's hard. That's one of the things. The line between drill and grime is one of those that I'm really trying to get a hold of, because drill is one of those things where I can definitely, when I hear it, I can definitely tell, oh, that's a drill beat. I've gotten good at that. Grime, I'm trying to get better at learning grime, but I just gotta learn that a little bit more. Overall, Pyro Beast killed that one. All right, let's go back to live stream feedback. Oh, and it popped us. No, it didn't pop us right back up. Where were we? I think there's a long line. Oh, I saw some Doom stuff. Okay, Extractor, Nem OTT. Let's see. Dubstep. Any tip to make it sound less awful? All right, so here we go. Grime is more messy and bassy. I guess so. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, I didn't even listen to yours, Extractor. You're right. I'm sorry. Ooh, I like the choirs. My impact. I like that one. I think I remember seeing a clip of this in the feedback channel. I think I remember you posted a clip of this because you had sort of like remade or remixed a little bit of the drop that I had done in like the heaviest track in the world thing, but you extended it and like made it longer and added more, and you like made it a track, which is really sick. I remember hearing that, and this sounds dope. It's even better. I think when I previewed it, I like previewed it on my phone, but like it sounds even better with headphones on. I like the melodic elements he added. All right. We're ending with a bwah. I think the only thing I could say, and that's like it's kind of a nitpicky thing, is I think the basses, not all of the basses blend together perfectly. I think that some of them either, like, some might be really mono, whereas others are a little more stereo, or some might be louder, like that main. It seems to be a good bit louder than some of the other stuff in the background. Not like, it's not like a cardinal sin that you've committed here. It's more like just like a subtle, like those subtle differences between the basses that can be really hard to fully pick up. Like, that's one of those things that you do in like a car test. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd car test it and be like, oh wait, that bass actually seems a little louder in the car than it does on my headphones or my speakers. Like, you'd kind of hear those levels like to detail. But I mean, that's just me nitpicking. It's like, this does sound really sick. Yeah, it sounds dope. I like this a lot. I think you did a really good job of taking that of taking that pattern that I made and putting more basses on it and extending it out. I rate that. I think it's dope. Very cool. All right, so we can pull up this one that I pulled up a second ago before I remembered that I forgot Extractor. Yeah, I love the Red Dragon. I think it's awesome. I like that synth. That sounded sick, and there's still a lot of the track left, I know, so I'm not going to pause after every single one, but I just want to give my thoughts. I think that was so cool. I love the main bass that just, I don't know, it's like a weird, it sounds alive, like it doesn't just sound like a pew 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 pew, like there's like, there's body to it. I like it. It's like, what's that one track by what's his name? The guy who does the rhythm that's like all mono in Disciple. Oh god, I can't remember it. I wish I could remember the name of him, because I could tell you the track. It's like NK15 or something. But it sounds like it's so frustrating. You know what? I refuse to not say. I'm going to real quick. I'm going to look, because I have it on my playlist and I know exactly what it sounds like. It reminds me of. Will someone say it in the chat? Not Chibs, no, not Myro. It's I'm gonna leak my Spotify. Who's the one that does the rhythm in let's see, NFK 137 by Infect. Infect is the guy. It sounds like that main bass, which I love. I think it's awesome. Maybe you could add a little bit of a bass layer to it. I had a lot of layers. Maybe like a bass layer that's a little more dry and like not as wishy-washy. That's a little more like solid and maybe saw-like, but it just sounds cool. I like it. Myro, Ryro, Eliminate. Yo, did you guys hear the modern talking? Boy, I heard the modern talking. It sounds like someone plucking on big, like, industrial, like, electrical cords. Like, I don't know, like, power lines. Is that what it sounds like? Someone plucking on power lines? It's like, I don't know. I think it's dope. I'm not totally sure if I'm a fan of the sort of telephony sound in the background. Maybe it's just a little too dry. Maybe that's it. But, I mean, honestly, this thing is sounding dope. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's 4 minutes, 30 seconds long. It's a long track. Third drop.
Madness. Begin.
I think that sounds dope. That big long bass, but you have to hint to that a little bit in like the build up or like this bridge part. Well, I guess you kind of did. There's a little bit of it. Maybe make that a little more prominent just so we're not totally caught off guard, but it sounds awesome. I like those choirs. Cool. It's a little bit long, in my opinion, but that's the wrong number. But it sounds a little bit long, in my opinion. But then again, I tend to make short tracks, so I can be biased there. Or, well, I say I tend to make short tracks. I actually make pretty long tracks. I don't plan for them to be long; they just end up being long. So maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite there. But overall, I think it's dope. I think it is really cool. It's a 3-drop track, which is cool to hear. It's cool to hear those, but done pretty well. Psych. That's the wrong number. But we got Elevate here. I did just listen to this, didn't I? Yeah, okay. I just making sure that was the one. We got Elevate. Elevate always comes with some heat. Melodic dubstep. I feel like the more I do these, you guys are getting more and more melodic. Like, I'm not complaining, but I feel like I noticed that.
Fires keep burning the song inside of me. Don't look back, I'm trying not to forget our memories. Don't wait up for me, I said I'm sorry. I'm not around, no, where did it all go? You're not okay, hey, I'm blaming on me. I'm so alone, yeah, I'm so alone. Don't wait up for me, I said I'm sorry. I'm not around, no, where did it all go? You're not okay, hey, I'm blaming on me.
It's 15 years old in the beginner. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. This is good. Like, this is seriously good. I like it a lot. I think this is dope. You have really good, like, the mixing is really solid, first off, I would like to say, so that's already a big plus. It's hard to get there. But also, I think the progression is really dope. You have the basses that are following the chords. You had glitch, like, those, like, glitch kind of stabby chords that I really like, and you mimicked that with the basses, which was also a really smart move. I think, so far, this is really good. I think the bass design could use a little more creativity, perhaps. Like someone was saying, printer basses. Like, a lot of them sound like sort of basic in their design. Like, it's a wavetable that you've run through some like compression and distortion, maybe like a little bit of modulation. You could have a little more stuff there. But even still, I mean, this thing is sounding seriously good. Seriously good. You got those drums, solid. The vocals fit great. Yeah, I see here. Usually. Yeah, I think this sounds awesome. I like it a lot. I think it's dope. I think that if he just got a little more sophisticated with the basses and a little more complex to make some more interesting rhythms and more interesting details to it, I think this thing is dope. I think that's the only downside. It's like the mixing is solid, the chord progression is solid, the track layout is solid. It's all really good. So awesome. Really, really good. Good stuff. All right. Okay. We got, is this a YouTube video? Oh, it looks like a track playthrough. Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay. This is a work in progress. Want to finish, send it, Ghosthack track feedback. Don't have time. Okay. Ongoing acceptable. It's planned to release the 1st of October. Okay. 2 drops, 2 verses. Bad mixing and mastering. Good vibe. Sorry for bad English. Nope. No problem. So apparently this is still a work in progress. Let's give this a listen. I've never gotten one of these before where someone does an FL playthrough. That's kind of cool. That's actually sort of cool to see that. It'd be fun to look at these in the future. Work in progress. think this sounds dope so far. I think it's really cool. I think maybe the drum, like the kick and the snare, are a little sporadic, you know, but that could be fake reaction. What? No. That could be that could just be to taste. You know, maybe it's actually totally fine. It's just a taste of mine. But also, I would love to hear like a bass layered under those chords, like something that's a little more like layered under it to really thicken it out. Because the chord progression sounds dope. It sounds nice and airy and open. Just something down at the bottom or something crunchy to layer with it would work so well. I think it would work so dang good. You got the lead under there. You have a bunch of sound effects and good layers, as I can see. Automation for days, of course. But I think this is sounding awesome. Sub's a little loud. It's a little loud, but it doesn't bother me. This is so AU5 right now. Cool. I think it ended kind of... Hang on. Oh my gosh! Of course, there had to be something at the end. But yeah, that's really AU5 in style. And I like that a lot. I like all those hyper growls and stuff like that. I think it's dope. Even though the pattern is a little bit hard to understand, I think it does flow together pretty well. And I think it's cool. I do agree with who said in the chat, it says like it sounds a little bit thin, and I think the reason for that is there isn't a ton of I think there isn't a ton of stuff in the like mid to low frequencies that's powering it through. A lot of it seems to be very high endy and very sub, you know what I'm saying, where there seems to be not as much happening in like the mid region where you get some body and warmth that makes it sound a little thin and frail. But that's just a mixing thing. It's like either putting something in that realm to fill it out, or making sure there's a nice solid low mid section to all of your basses. That I think that could totally help that. But I mean, this thing is sounding dope. I love the sound design you did. I love, like, it looks like you resampled a bunch of stuff. Like, it looks like you did a really good job with that, and I really do commend you for that, because that's not easy to do, and you did a really good job. But yeah, just like some mixing stuff to make sure the drop sounds warm and rich. And you can totally reference AU5's music for stuff like this. Obviously, it's right up his alley. I love what he did in his remix of Islands by 7 Lions. That's one of my favorite ones that he ever did. And he did a lot of kind of cool stuff like this in the second drop, which you can totally hear, and you can kind of like reference something like that. That'd just be what I do. But man, it sounds good. It sounds really good. I like it a lot. Anything else at the end? Is that it? Okay, there we go. Nice. Well done. Well done. I enjoy that a lot. Oh, we got something Doom. Got something Doom. I saw this when I was scrolling back up. I was looking forward to it. I love this stuff. I got to do another Doom video, man. I got to do another Doom video. Yeah, you can still send music, but there is a lot of people in line, so I don't know if I'll get to it, but you can definitely join the Discord and go ahead and send some music. If you're not in the Discord, definitely go ahead and join that, because we're doing these feedback streams every other week. And if you want to get notified for that, turn on the notifications. There's notifications on YouTube that you can turn on right beside the subscribe button. Anyway. synth in the background. Sorry. No, I'm not looking bored. I was looking up something on the side because this is one of those things where I really like the way this is written and I really like the way this is laid out. I think it's sick. I think you have good guitar riffs. You have solid riffs. It's like the drum design is really good. The way you put those down. You have the leads on top. Sorry, I was looking up something on the side because I think the beauty of something like this, and this happens every time I make Doom music, every time I make something Doom-like, is I think what I always have to do all the time is I always have to go back to reference stuff just for mixing. Like, just based on the mixing, I always go back to reference. And I think it's really, really useful to, I hate to do this to you, but this is what I do with my music as well. I do the exact same thing with me, is I'll pick a particular piece of the soundtrack. Like, I really like Meat Hook for mixing and stuff like that, and you can kind of hear just mixing differences and be, oh yeah, I need a little more high end on my drums, I need a little stuff like that. And this is royalty free because it's for gaming, so we're not going to get copyrighted, but like, it's pretty good. Like, you can hear you've filled up a lot of the same space. Like, you can hear just A being them beside each other, it reveals a lot. I think the one thing I noticed is that, like, this one has a little more punch. I think that's really the only thing. It's like you filled up a lot of the same frequencies, so it's pretty dang good. Yeah, you just need the punch. That's it, and then you're there. Like, this thing is dope. I like it a lot. I think this is awesome. And I'm not trying to, like, rip into you, comparing you to Mick Gordon, because he's obviously a god. He's obviously a god. I can't make music that good. But that's the biggest difference. I think this thing is sick. I think it's awesome. I think you did a really great job. And it fades out. Very well done. Very well done. I like that a lot. Big up. Big up for making Doom music. That stuff's hard. That stuff is hard. Alright, we got some more dubstep. '90s ending? No. It sounds cool, but I think is it kind of out of key? It sounds like a whole different, you just like switch to a whole different key. I don't know. Is this on mobile? If this is on mobile, then dang, well done. Oh, there's Elevate. this like a 150 or 140 track? It sounds like it. But yeah, I think the only thing is it doesn't really match. I think like someone was saying in the chat, the drop doesn't really match the rest of the track, which is like, it's harsh criticism, I know, but it sounds like it's just sort of in two different worlds. Like you have two different worlds, which are both cool. You got a cool couple of worlds going on here, but they don't exactly, there's not really a link, you know? That's the rough part. It kind of sounds like they're in two different keys, and there's a big switch. It's a little bit hard. Even if they aren't in two different keys, the particular chords or melodic content used doesn't seem to hit the right notes to really flow through. But like individually, they both sound sick. And especially for mobile, this is very impressive for mobile. Like, I think I've fiddled around with mobile a couple of times, and it's really hard for me to work with it, maybe just because I'm not used to it. But dang, for doing it on mobile, wow. Yeah, it's good to elevate. You can always go back. But this thing was dope. I really like the ideas that you have here, and I think one of the most important, one of the coolest elements to this, I think fundamentally, is the creativity behind it. It's like the creativity in music, especially dubstep, I've found nowadays, is kind of getting rare. Like, I hate to say it, because as much as I love dubstep, I really, really do, but I think creativity is getting kind of rare. And it is morphing. Like, some people are doing some really cool stuff with creative rhythm basses, and deathstep is always sick, and they're doing like color based mixing melodic elements, and like that's really dope. But I think a lot of it can get stale kind of easily, and I think this is one of these things where like this is anything but stale. So that's definitely a big up for you. I really respect the creativity. But cool. Keep on keeping on. We got some house music. Okay. We also got an essay down here. C-Dub 3D, thank you for the 10. Appreciate it. You're the man. Let's see. I'm newer to DAWs, VST plugins, and such, but wanting to dive in, dubstep, drumstep, etc. in your sale. Which 3 sound packs would you suggest? Own FL Producer? I don't. Oh, okay. What 3 packs would I suggest? Well, we got a lot of good bundles. Even though our rhythm bundles are for rhythm, I'd probably listen to some of the rhythm packs that we have, because some of the sounds in there are really good for dubstep as well as rhythm, you know, like not just for rhythm. So I definitely go for that. I know there's a dubstep sound arsenal that would definitely help, but I'd recommend, we have a whole category for dubstep, so I'd recommend going through that and checking those out. Oh, and the serum packs. We got tons of serum packs. There's great stuff for serum. So if you got serum, go for that. I like this intro. I like this. This is something I'd listen to when I'm gaming. Like in the background, I'd totally listen to stuff like this. I love those little acid blips. Oh yeah, we're gonna do plenty more of these streams. Like every other week, we're planning to do them. I think that sounded really good. I guess I should pause it there and give my thoughts. But I mean, honestly, I don't have many other than the fact that it just sounds solid. Like I really like it. It sounds professional. Yeah, hate acid bass. I don't know. I like acid bass. I like acid basses. I don't know. I think they're really specific because they can get kind of cheesy. I think the acid basses can get kind of cheesy, but I like them in the sense that they're really good at adding bounce to a track. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're doing like psytrance, then they just add a cool effect. But anyway, I don't know. I kind of like them. Some people might not like them. I like them. They're a little bit old, but I like the classic vibe. I ain't trying to offend anyone. You're all good. Around for like another hour and a half. Yeah, I wish I had more feedback to this. I just like it. I think it vibes. It's not something that like fully captures my full direct attention the way that a lot of other songs would. I think it's one of those things where I would have this going on in like the background of me like playing a game or something like that. I think it'd be really good for that. It's not necessarily something that I'm like crazy impressed by, you know. It's just like a solid track. You just made a solid track here, man. And that's good. Like you need those. Not everything has to be like fully in your face. It's just music. It's good. So yeah, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Very well done. I remember I always say that things are well done. You get a well done from Will. You get Will's well done. Got some more dubstep here. Oh. I say not everything had to be in your face, and now I'm faced with this, and I'm well done. That was so dope. That was awesome. I love that. I just want to hear this first part just once again. It's alive. I like it. This is huge. Very well mixed as well. that bass in the background. Yeah, end with that atmosphere. Man, that was so good. That was awesome. I love that. Like, the creativity in that was dope. Does it beat? I think this is dope. I like this a lot, but man, I think this takes the cake. With those little drum fills, man, that's so clean. That's so good. This thing slaps. Man, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a like. You get a like. That's dope. All right, drum and bass. I feel drum and bass.
Guilty. Oh, I'm guilty of loving you. I'm guilty of loving you. Oh, I'm just an alley cat. I slang fire when I can. Even this pussy cat will cry a high rise without a plan. You were put it up in the night. It's all dark and dangerous. Lost at first sight. I tried to hold you, but you were gone by this light.
Let's see what the drop's like.
It's all dark and dangerous. I tried to warn you. Guilty. I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you. Yes, I said I'm guilty.
I think it sounds cool. I'm not sure if the bass is the best one to fit with that vocal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if it totally matches up well.
It's all dark and dangerous.
Because the bass isn't out of key. I think it's just dropping in key. You know what I'm saying? I think the bass is just whereas the vocal is sort of clean. It has a key, it has a pitch. So I would probably get the bass to follow some kind of pitch that works with the vocal, I would say. Let's see, drop doesn't hit hard enough. Yeah, I mean, some drum and bass doesn't necessarily hit that hard, although I would probably like it to hit harder. I kind of agree with you there, but see what you got for the second drop. Yeah, I do want to hear more of a punch to that kick. Not like a huge like death step punch. I need just like a little bit of a. I need just a little bit of a jab of a kick. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It's pretty well laid out. I think the main thing is just make the drums punch a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then get some bass, either some basses or some bass patterns. Why did my voice do that? Some basses or some bass patterns that will that will fit with the vocal a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like melodically and tonally. I think it would be cool. It's just a loud bass line with the drums in the background. Nice. It's just, I mean that's like. Let's see the loud. Yeah, I guess compared to the drums, the basses are pretty loud, but I think the drums just need to get louder. Third time in a row with some feedback. I'm sorry about that. You can, if I'm assuming you have the notification bell clicked, but if not, you got to make sure that's you're notified so you can hop in the Discord, because it like the submissions open like 10 minutes before the stream, something like that. A few minutes before the stream, a certain amount of time before the stream, feedback submissions open, and we announce that on the Discord as well, so you can make sure to check that. It's okay because we'll do these every other week. So you're not gonna miss out on your opportunities. But yeah. All right, Nightmare. I guess we got something heavy incoming. Look at this track. 5 minutes before the stream. Okay, cool.
Your words echo into.
It's cool. No, I'm kidding. This is obviously sick. I really like this. I think the mixture of like the trap elements with those heavy basses is really dope, like for that hybrid trap vibe. I think it's really cool. The rhythm is a little bit hard to follow, but I mean the vibe is still awesome. That's a good way to put it.
Clean this fucking shit up.
God. It's got this vibe to it where it's like, it's not exactly on time. It's got like almost a swing kind of laziness to it, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I'm actually saying that in a good way. Like, it sounds alive and like moving around. I don't know. It's weird to describe it, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. We have organs in the background there. Man. I want to bob my head to it because it's so cool, but it's so hard to find the rhythm here. Oh, okay, here we are. That was crazy. Like, there could have been literally no tempo changes in this song, but I feel like there was like at least 3 or 4 tempo changes because it's just so cool in the way that it's laid out. I think it's laid out pretty cool. It's not exactly as understandable as a lot of other tracks, which is my one thing about it, that it makes it a little hard to follow. But I don't necessarily think that it needs to be easy to follow is another thing. I think a lot of it is really about the atmosphere. Ethnic bass trap 808s don't usually have a lot of low. Ethnic bass trap 808s. I don't know. I feel like the point of these 808s is just to really be dirty and gritty down at the bottom. It doesn't have to be like drill 808s where it's sliding around everywhere. I think this track is executed really well, in my opinion. Like, this mixing is crazy. It's awesome. I think you did a really good way of mixing it. The kicks are heavy as hell. Everything comes in super strong. And sending you a demo, we'll really appreciate it and give you value feedback. Yeah, I mean, you go ahead and submit it. I'm not sure how many I can get to. There's a lot of people in line. But like I said, we do these every other week, so you'll always have more opportunities to submit. But Sky, really well done with that one. That one was crazy. That was crazy. Good stuff in it. Double the trouble. I think this thing is really sick so far. It's sounding dope. I think the mixing is really clean, which I like a lot. At first, I was going to say with those sign like cooker leads, it's kind of old school, which I didn't really like too much. But then I saw that this was a reboot of an old dubstep song. I'm assuming by you. I'm assuming that's an old song by you in 2012. In that case, I actually think I enjoy that you sort of tributed those older school sounds. And you sort of left those in here and just mixed it and laid it out in a little more modern fashion. I appreciate that a lot. So I'm digging this so far. He did a little fade out at the end there. Yeah, this is a short track. You know what I'm saying? Main bass a little off key. That's the thing. I don't think it's off key. I think that's due to the nature of a sine cooker lead. Is a lot. What you'll do is you'll have like two sine waves and you'll distort them together. And in many ways, it can make it kind of squarey and make it a little bit detuned. But I think it's on key. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'd say add some more to this track. You know, it's just a short little track. It sounds like there should be more to it. You just kind of faded it out. It is mastered work in progress, apparently. So, yeah, that's what I would say. I think the vocal, it might be a little controversial in the chat. I think the use of the chop of the vocal was actually really awesome. And, like, he chopped up some other samples in there, which were sick. You know, there's not a lot I have to critique about this due to, like, the style. Because I think you really nailed the style for what you're going for. So I'm just highlighting some things that I think are cool about it, and that's what I wanna highlight with this. When there's not too much stuff that I find that's actually wrong with the track, I like to just highlight the good stuff, and I think this has a lot of good stuff. I think you did good work. Oh, we got another YouTube. I try to move quickly, but you guys are too good at this, man. You guys are too good. Back into it. With the saxophone in the background. That sounds really good, especially for like future garage stuff like this. I think it's really well executed. I think there's like a little blip in this last bit that I noticed that sounded a little bit off key. There's like a little blip that's kind of jarring, you know? Like it sounds like it should be either a different note or just shouldn't be there at all. But I think this is well executed for this garage. You have the vocal over top, you have good Foley and percussions in your drums. It's really atmospheric. Once again, you guys are just good at this stuff. Man, you guys are good. Little ear ringing there. I would recommend kind of maybe cutting your track because there's a lot of silence at the end there that I don't really think needs to be there. But other than that and like the little blip, I think the little blip that's sort of out of key, it's a little bit jarring. I think this thing is really good. I think you did a really good job with this for the style. The mixing is really solid too. I think it's really mixed well for future garage. And I also just really like how you worked with the drums and the vocal. I think those are the highlights of this track. The drums, which you had good percussions and Foley in there. It was all over the place, but it wasn't too chaotic and crazy. And the vocal added a nice texture and stuff like that. So you get a well done for me. Get a well done from me. Said that I'm the new Will. I have 3 months producing. All right, so you're the new Will, eh? That was awesome. That was a journey. It's just a short little track, 1 minute and 18. I think that's awesome. I think that we will take your application as the new Will seriously. No, but I think one thing I'm noticing is the snare. I feel like needs to hit a little harder here. Because obviously everything has a lot of energy. The kick punch is very nice. The chords are insane, as well as that vocal on top. There's a ton of energy. I just need the snare to punch through and slap through a little bit more. That's what I'm really wanting. Because I can hear there's a good snare behind there as well. Like the snare you have is good. It's like it just needs to smack through a little bit more. I'd love to hear that. But yeah, it's just a nice, short and sweet track. I like it. You did a good job with those vocals and layering them with the chords. It was very, very nice. It's like a little harsh in the high end just because there's so much energy, but I don't even think that's necessarily a problem. Like, I think that's also just part of the style. So yeah, I'd say that just get that snare going and get that snare down, and you got something really special here. Maybe you could add like some more little bits of hi-hat or percussion action in the background. Oh, well, you do have a little bit of that. It was just kind of hidden behind a lot of the other stuff. So really, 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 really good. Really good job. I have not too much else to say about that. Like I said, you guys are just good at this stuff, you know? And I think that's perfectly valid for me to listen to a track and be like, damn, good job. I think that's perfectly reasonable for me to do. Just my feedback. This is unfinished. Okay. For 3 months, that's insane. That's insane, bro. Intro is a little bit lengthy. Nice little outro. I think you had some really cool elements here, especially like that ARP going in the background. That ARP is really cool. I like it. I think it's good. I think the rest of the track is a little bit too simple. You know what I'm saying? Like you have normal drums, which honestly the drums are fine. I'd leave the drums the way they are. I think having your drums simple is totally fine. The chords, they're a little bit basic, just like a couple of chord changes that are like nice and long. You know what I'm saying? They're a little simple. If you were to add like fills and other stuff in there, or maybe like bass layers, then that could make it a little more interesting, and it'd make it sound a little less basic. But I mean, it is unfinished, so I'm sure there's like plenty of other stuff you could add to this. You did sort of hover the chords in the second bit, and you added some basses in there, which are definitely on the right track with doing that. I think that would make it a really, really sick melodic dubstep song. The bass that you do have, I think, could be a little simple. Maybe I'd want to hear a little more movement in there, you know, with a little bit of filtering, or just some just some extra modulation to keep it interesting and keep me like really entertained with this. But I mean, this thing that you've started is awesome. And then we got through the outro, and yeah, it's just another short track, just 1:50, nice, short and sweet. And yeah, I think I've said my piece as far as feedback. I think it's a really, really good thing you have going. You just got to make sure that it stays entertaining and interesting, because melodic dubstep is such a cool genre, and it can be very entertaining and very fun. All right. And the feedback. At some point, I'm gonna get Rick rolled actually in a track. But all right, let's give this a listen. Work in progress.
The same flame, and I'm always hurt, picking my pieces from the ashes on the floor.
Nice vocals.
Push away, but it's killing me. Smoke lungs when I try to breathe, filling me up with doubt to hold them in my core. Oh, when you're here, oh, when you're near, oh, it burns, and nothing I felt before.
Chords are very nice here.
Oh, when you're here, oh, when you're near, oh, it burns, and nothing I felt before, and nothing I felt before.
That was dope. That was a dope switch up. I didn't know if I was expecting like some big chords, like kind of just big future bass chords, or if I was expecting something more like subtle and energetic like that. And I'm really glad you decided to go with this style of music. I think it's awesome. There's so many little details. I love it. I would probably say that bass in the background, the doop 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 doop, that pluck bass that I'm hearing, that might not be the pattern, but those little bass hits, you can make those a little bigger and a little bit thicker, so you really hear them thump, because they're so nice. They work with the track so well. Like the doom doom doom, it sounds a little weak, like I want to hear it doom doom doom, like not like dubstep, you know what I'm saying? Just make them a little fatter, a little richer, and that it would sound so good. I just love to hear that, man. This is really good. This is so good. You did a really good job. It sounds very professional, especially with that sort of vocal like layer on top, and you have the brass stabs. Like, I really, really enjoyed this. I think you did a good job. I think you did a really good job with that. Just make that bass a little stronger. That's my personal opinion, is I just want a little bit stronger the bass. But other than that, you nailed it. You nailed the style. Maybe distorted a bit. Yeah, just like a little bit of extra aggression. Dance and EDM.
It's elemental. I just need for you to see all the potential. Yeah, it's killing me, thrilling me. Oh, there's not enough hours in the day.
I already love this vibe.
I've been thinking to myself, you fill up the hollow. Before you go, just stay for a minute, 'cause we both know that your heart's still in it. You're my scripture. I just need for you to see the bigger picture. Yeah, it's killing me,
so
thrilling me. Tell me what I gotta do for you to stay. Before you go, just stay for a minute, 'cause we both know that your heart's still in it. Still in it. You're my
I knew it.
yeah, it's killing me, thrilling me. to myself. Fill up the hollow. Before you go, just stay for a minute. 'Cause we don't know that your heart's still in it. I just need.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Maybe the vocal could be a little more upfront, but that's nitpicking because this is such a cool style.
Need for you to see all the potential. Yeah, it's killing me, thrilling me. Oh, there's not.
I will say, I think the one drawback to this kind of style is it's going to be the most fun to listen to if you're listening to it in a system like a speaker system or headphones where you can really hear all the little details. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if this were playing through a speaker that wasn't, or a pair of headphones that weren't super great, then it would be a little bit harder to vibe to. But listening to all the little details and the deep sub and the little bits of like bit crushing and all that stuff, it's so much fun.
I was in the day. I've been thinking to myself, you fill up the hollow. Before you go, just stay for a minute. 'Cause we both know that your heart's still in it. You're my scripture. I just need for you to see the bigger picture. Yeah, it's killing me, thrilling me. Tell me what I gotta do for you to stay. Before you go, just stay for a minute. 'Cause we both know that your heart's still in it.
Oh, this sounds chorus. Wait a minute. Don't get me wrong, I love the style here. I think it's awesome. It's a tad bit chaotic. Like, maybe if there was one of these like several elements that you're throwing here, maybe if one of these was a little more just like solid, like maybe if the chords were more a little less glitchy, you know what I'm saying, then maybe it would help carry me through this part. But the style is still so cool. You got those 8-bit sounds all over the place. Sounds so good. 8-bit magic. Yeah, it sounds like some kind of like, it's like chiptune future bass. That's what I would call this genre. Chiptune future bass. It's a little bit long, but it's not that long. Nah, maybe I'll scratch that. I think 4 minutes 16 is fine. Yeah, I think chiptune future bass could really take off. And like, people like it. Like, it's creative. It's fun. I like it, you know? It can be a little hard to listen to for long periods of time, I will say. Like, something like this, like, after I'm done listening to it, I probably wouldn't play it again because it's a lot of chaos. But I really do like the textures that you used, and I think that's my main let's see, Who Came After made a lot of stuff like this. I've definitely heard some of Who Came After stuff. I haven't heard his stuff like this. That would be cool to check out. But Kawaii future bass, kind of, you'd have to have more like anime vocals in there, which definitely could work. There's a lot of room for different stuff in this style. But I really like this. I think it's cool. I think people in the chat like it, and I really do like the style. So keep going with this style, man, because that's definitely something that can be perfected and tweaked to be like amazing. Rhythm dubstep are so hard to listen to for extended periods of time. Depends on your style. I don't know. I could listen to that for extended periods of time. It does depend on the artist. Then again, there are people that say that electronic music, period, is hard to listen to for extended periods of time. So, you know. Hybrid.
A new pack of cigars and chapstick.
feels strange. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. I don't fully know what I'm listening to. Let's see. Okay, this is a little more substantial. I think this is a little bit of a rough one, because I think the problem is it's like a story that doesn't have a plot line. It's like things are happening in the story, but there's no real plot or like character to follow. It's like there is like a rhythm that you have in here. You have drums and you have like a key and sound effects that are continuing, but it doesn't really have a plot to the track. It's sort of hard to follow. It's kind of all over the place. Like, where's it going? What's going on? Is this a hook? Is this an intro? What's happening? I think it's a little bit hard to follow. So I'm totally cool with experimental styles. Yeah, we're not doing any remixes for feedback, but yeah, it's hard to figure out what's going on. I think that's the main problem. So as much as I like experimental music, I think this was a good swing, but I don't think it really hit the mark, in my opinion, as far as creating something that's understandable to listen to, like, musically. You know, a lot of it is like, I'm not really sure what's happening, you know? So I'd probably work on progression and get kind of a plot figured out for the song, kind of a main hook, something to sort of center things around, and work on structure from that. That's what I'd recommend. So yeah, I'm down with anything experimental. I love experimental stuff. For stream, it's a good title. I like this art, I like this cover art, I like skulls. Oh, okay. Cool transition. I kind of like the sporadic nature of these drums. They sound exactly like that. Exactly what I just did is a perfect replication of that. But it's like the future garage kind of style. I like it. Oh, then we go into a little more chill melodic area. Was this cinematic? Future garage, but it's trap. Build up. Whoa. Where am am I right now? Like, it's so, this is a situation where my brain is thinking two different things. I have like the heavy aggressive side, which is like the trappy style of the drums with the kind of growling bass, and then there's the piano up top with like some garage percussions that makes it feel lighter. It's such a cool mix between the two. Back into this. Have that detuned piano again. It's a cool texture to end with. I think, yeah, one of my biggest things that I heard was what someone said in the chat. The transition for the second bit was a little bit choppy. Like, it went into a build up without many other things. Like, I'd want some more things rising up, and a little bit of a dedicated build up, I would say, is probably what this needs. Because I'd love to hear a build up into this part, because this part is sick. You know, it's a really dope second bit. I think it was really nice. I need a proper build up into that. I need a good build up, and that's kind of what this is missing. But I really like this mix of different styles and this blend of vibes. It's not a common one to hear, but I think he did a really good job with it. I think it was executed very well. I'd say just get that build up fixed up, and I'd be loving that. I'd be loving that one. All right. Grass 2. What a name. Probably ended about 45 minutes. Mastering is tough. It's got those cinematic drums. When's Grass 3 dropping? That was so cool. I thought listening to the first bit, I really liked the first bit. You have that like ARP in the background. I think that was awesome. But then I thought, oh, like it could use a second element, maybe backing it up. And then you brought the chords in. Like that's exactly what this needed. Good melodic elements. Oh, it got epic. All right, here's the build-up. Oh, guitar? Okay, goes to another build-up. I love that I could hear in the background you had the lead guitar going and you had rhythm guitars, which were sick. That guitar playing was awesome. You really did a good job with that. One thing I'd probably say is like maybe you could add some more like sizzly cymbals on top of the drop to retain like the sizzly high end of like those synths, you know, if they're just like them like a ride or like some kind of cymbals to layer on top, that could be awesome. But I mean, that's just kind of nitpicking. Like this thing was so well executed. Oh, I can hear the rhythm guitars. It works so well. I also think it was a great switch up from the first drop. I'm not trying to just throw a bunch of like good stuff at y'all once. Yeah, we want Grass 3. When's Grass 3 dropping? But I think it was a good mix, like a good switch up for the second drop to come in with a guitar. I think that was a smart move. It's not always a smart move to come in with a guitar, but I think you chose the right moment to do it. And I think that's one of the most important bits. You chose the right moment to do it and you executed that. So very well done. I think the bridge was a little bit long. Like there was like a couple of different build-ups which were a little confusing, but once you got there in the end, you really pulled it together. So good job with that. Crowdfunding for Grass 3.
I don't wanna wait, but waiting for. I can do that, do my own. I know it is, but I go with my heart. Stay. I don't wanna wait, but waiting for. I can do that, do my own. I know it is, but I go with my heart. Stay away from those old troubles.
Solid intro. It's very compressed.
The light has shown me the wind around my boat under the stars in the day when I get to my dream will change all my life. The light has shown me the wind around my boat under the stars in the day when I get to my dream will change all my
I was wondering what was sounding strange about this at first, and I realized that there are little to no chords in the track, which is weird because normally in this style of featured bass you'd feel the chords, but this is the thing, it's really weird because I don't actually think it needs the chords. Like you're saying, it's like it sounds thick, like it still sounds rich, but you'd expect chords, but they're not there. Or like if they are there, they're just very quiet, you know what I'm saying? They might be there in the background, they're just so small. Yeah, but I don't think it needs it. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting to try to make a drop like using minimal chords and just focusing on like bass and vocal.
I know it is, but I go with my heart. Stay away from those old troubles. The light has shown me the wind around my boat under the stars in the day when I get to my dream will change all my life. The
transition between that is so clear. My thought is that maybe you could add a little more like filtering and riser stuff in the build-up. Because like there's sub all the way through the build-up, which is a little bit off-putting. I'd maybe take away some of that sub or filter it out. And then when the drop hits, it sort of opens up a little bit more and hits a little stronger. That's a very, very common technique. That's probably what I'd do. You gotta post a song within a minute after the chat opens. Yeah, I wish there was a way to combat that. I mean, there really isn't. You guys are so quick. You guys are so quick to send your feedback or to send your tracks in for feedback. Everyone is so snappy with it. It's insane. The first drop and the second drop are very, very similar, which they're good drops. I'm gonna be honest, like the drops that you have there are really good. I would probably, in the second drop, maybe switch it up. Maybe in like the first part, you could replace the vocal with like a lead or like something. That would be cool. Or I don't know if you have a wish to add any bass action. I don't know if that's the right move here. But like something to switch it up and make it unique. And then maybe in the second half of the drop, you go back to those vocals because they really are solid. You got a nice outro. This was pretty good. This was solid work. It was really solid work. I'd probably work on making those build-ups a little more build-uppy and build-ups a little more build-uppy. This is professional advice here. But making sure the build-ups are a little more filtered, they have a little more things building up, and so the drop hits nice and hard and it opens up really nice, and maybe adding a switch. That's probably what I would do. But I mean, even without those, the track is solid as heck. Like, this is a really good track. I really enjoyed listening to it. Indeed I did. Alright, melodic dubstep. A lot of colors going here. It's a little hard to look at, I will say. That was pretty nice. I enjoyed that. I did like the chord progression. I think the chord progression you used was really solid. I think the main drawback in this is probably, I think the basses don't necessarily fit in super well. They're like a little bit lackluster. They're just kind of thrown in the gaps or a little bit at random. It doesn't seem to mix very well with the chords. But the progression you have and the way you laid out the chords and where the basses are, I thought was really good. I feel like maybe just a little more detail into those filler elements where there's basses and where there's like little synthy stuff as well. Because you'll hear in the main part of melodic dubstep, there's like a lot of layers and things happening when the chords hit, right? And you have a lot of things happening. And then you'll jump to those little gaps in there. And you'll usually have a couple of different layers of sounds. Like you'll have a bass sound, and then maybe there's like either a sound effect layer or a Foley layer, or sometimes you'll add little blips and bloops of synths as well. This is something Virtual Riot does so well. he's very, very well known for being able to do melodic dubstep like this very, very nicely. And I think it's definitely okay to take some little hints out of his book and stuff that he's done, because he'll make sure that those fills are just as energetic as those big parts of the drop. Like, the song isn't stopping to let in a little bass. The little bass fill is like part of the song, and it kind of blends together. So it's a little bit of an art form. Like, it's not a science. It's not really easy to explain. It's kind of like, I think Tassion from Cymatics put it really well. It's kind of like cooking, where you figure out which things go together the best, and you figure out which ingredients end up working together the best and flow. And you just kind of learn that over time. But man, you're on the right track here. This is sounding dope. Yeah, I think that's some good advice from Ganymede in the chat. If you want to leave empty space for the bass, make sure that the bass fills up the entire spectrum of both frequency and stereo wise. That's going to really help. It's good advice. It's going to really help make the basses mix with the chords well, right? They're going to really match with the chords, and it's going to work a lot better, because it sounds like the track is kind of stopping just for like a bass to pop up and enter the conversation, and then the bass is kicked out and the track continues. You know, it sounds a little, it's like whack-a-mole. It just kind of pops up there for a minute and then it just goes back down, and it's sort of strange and odd. It doesn't blend together. But I mean, you definitely have the right idea. It's like, you know what melodic dubstep is, and I can tell you know what melodic dubstep is, and you know what good melodic dubstep is. It's like you're seriously on the right track here. I'm not trying to discourage you at all, because this thing is it sounds really, really good. You just got to work on making it flow. Got to work on making it flow. All right, we've got some more dubstep. This is Digitalize. It's gonna be Rhythm. Every bass was Fruity Granulizer. I like Fruity Granulizer. Intro's a little strange. first drop's a little long. I would have probably ended it right there. I can tell that we're only halfway through. That's a long drop. But this thing is sounding dope. I love the sound design that you did, especially knowing that it's done in Fruity Granulizer. I think that's really sick. You did a really cool job with that. It sounds super unique. It's awesome. I would have liked to hear the clap a little more, or like the snare, whatever snare clap thing you have layered over the kick. I would have loved to hear that hitting a little bit stronger, a little bit harder. Someone says maybe some reverb on the clap, so you just get a like. I would have really love to hear that. But yeah, especially if you're making a drop this long, you got to make sure to switch up the basses. It's a lot of the same basses. Yeah, like the basses are dope. There's just a ton of them, especially for a 5-minute and 30-second song. Like these drops could each be cut in half. Could use a vocal or something in these areas to kind of help carry us through. Switch up. Yeah, I mean, it sounds sick. It sounds dope. It's just a lot of the same thing. I think that's the only thing my only problem with it is the mixing is really cool. I mean, the clap as well. I'd like to hear that a little more up front. But I'd just like to hear some more switch ups. That's what I like to hear. It's just a lot of the same thing. But what you got here, it sounds awesome. Like, I don't think anyone's denying this sound design is crazy. You got a really good layout. Like, you really did a lot of things right with this track. It's just repetitive. That's the only thing. So, dang, sick. Yeah, Fruity Granulizer is dope. I got to use that more often too. I end up doing granular synthesis in other ways. Oh wait, I think we got 2Cam in the chat. We got 2Cam in the chat. That guitar. I will say, you're also pulling me in with this space stuff. I love space so much. Like, space is so awesome. Like, I'm watching videos about space all the time, because I just love this stuff. So you're also kind of pulling me in with that. I also really appreciate the details you're putting in with the vocals in the background. You have one like woo vocal going right up front, and then you have like the vocals in the background that sound exactly like that, and they're really good. We got a horn in there. right? So cinematic, and there's so many little details. I love the little details that you put into this. And it kind of tells a story about these missions to like Saturn and Saturn's moons, and I think that's really cool as well to have a video to go along with it. And yeah, you got the clips from NASA and stuff. That was dope. Yeah, I think the thing with the drums is I was kind of surprised. I expected at some point cinematic drums that were like doom, like something like that, but you ended up not having a really strong kick or snare. Like it all tended to be a lot of percussions, which maybe if like I were doing the track, I would have added a stronger cinematic deeper drums like kicks and toms, and then maybe like snares and stuff. But I don't feel like that's necessarily necessary. I'm so stupid. I don't feel like that's necessary. I feel like it was actually pretty cool to have just like smaller drums and percussions and stuff everywhere. Like I thought it was an interesting take on cinematic percussion. I thought it was cool. So even though it's not something I would have done, I personally liked it. And I think even though this track is not a very traditional track, especially in terms of electronic music, I think you really hit the nail on the head for the cinematic vibe, and it had a good story to it. And I respect that. I respect that a lot. More melodic dubstep. This is a day for melodic dubstep. The Action Strikes library, yeah. Finished track in 10 minutes, nice. It doesn't always have to take long to just make some good edits. Necessarily necessary. Oh, okay, that's a little loud. That was cool. That was pretty cool. I think the drums are a little bit loud, but I would like to hear like some cymbals, like like some little crashes or like rides or something in the background, and that could layer really well with the drums, because the snare especially is very punchy. It's like a kind of snare, which I really like. I like using those snares a lot, but it'd be good to add like a on top of it, and that can be done just by adding a little cymbal on top. I like to use China cymbals, but you can use any kind of little cymbals or rides. It really fills out the space, and it keeps the energy going. Future bass with dubstep snare. Yeah, there aren't exactly many dubstep basses, but it's not fully necessary. would have liked to switch up at the second drop. I would have liked to switch up either, you know, with it being melodic dubstep, like you're saying, it's not future bass. So like with some dubstep basses, that would be really cool to seal in its melodic dubstep nature, or with maybe just some different things as far as the lead, because you have a cool lead on top of those chords. Maybe in the second bit, what if you made the lead like faster and do like a or like something cool, just to switch it up for the second drop and be like, yeah, this is the second drop, you know? It's something interesting happening there. That would definitely be in order, especially because the drop itself is pretty simplistic as far as just chords going the whole time. You got drums and a lead. It's very understandable, which is totally fine. But it has a little room for some chaos, you know? You can throw a little more, put a little more pizzazz into it. You could definitely do that. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, melodic dubstep, it's heavy. It's nice. It's smooth. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Oh, Benji's in the chat. Made it kind of wobble. Oh, that would be kind of nice. That would be kind of cool. I'd be down with that. Genre? I don't know. What is genre? We'll figure that out. Let's see what you got for us. This is sounding sick. I think you're doing a really good job of mixing these chords and like the leads and stuff like that. I think you're doing a really good job with that. I'd like to hear a little more clap. I want to hear that clap a little. I hit the microphone. I want to hear a little more clap up front. You know what I'm saying? Like I could really appreciate some of that, but it sounds really good. That's good changes. You had the strings in there too, which is very creative. I'm grabbing these tracks from our Discord. You go into the Discord server. There's an area for it that we do that I grab tracks from for the streams, which we do feedback streams every other week now. I think this part is sounding really good too. I'm not a huge fan of the kick. I think that like the kick sounds good. I don't think it necessarily sounds good in this context. Like for this particular track, I might have picked a different kick. It sounds a little too like deep and thuddy as opposed to like, I don't know. It feels like it has kind of a strange resonance in the low frequencies. you had dang good melodic content in here. Like, as far as like the chords and the melody goes, you really knew what you were doing in creating that and constructing that. I think you did a good job with that as well. I think the mix is, you said you're having trouble with your headphones. Maybe like listening to it on something a little clearer would probably help you get a bit of the clearer mix. I mean, I've listened to the stuff that you submit before. I know you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know you do. And I can also tell from this track, it's like you definitely know what you're doing musically. And hey, you're on a roll. You've been on a roll, man. Been real good. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to go for about 10 more minutes. We'll get through some more tracks. We got drum and bass here.
It's like a sword fight. You must think first, right?
Solid headphones.
Before you move. My love, a handsome sword. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
I think this will be kind of interesting.
I came here tonight to play chess. Nobody ever mentioned
Here we go.
anything about a sword fight.
It's a little quiet, but I'll help you out. The sub is a little crazy, but it's still dope.
Master Lord, if you don't talk, you're gonna die.
It does remind me of Noja. I would say, I mean, this thing is sounding dope. This style, I really do like this style. The sub is a little loud. I turned the sub down a little bit, but I would say mainly the basses could use a little more movement. Like usually when I hear this kind of thing in Noja, they'll have like subtle movements to their basses and modulations. Either the main bass will have some like Reese action going on, or there'll be some other textures on top. You know what I'm saying? To make it a little more eccentric. I would have liked to hear a little bit of that in this one, but man, you're really on the right track here. Glad you like the backs. There's a lot after here that you definitely don't need, but then again, it's just a demo. This is demo 3, so I'm not gonna roast you on that. There's no real need for that. It is a little bit repetitive in the sense that I think that wobbling, I think it gets a little bit old. I will say it's a good sound. You don't have to get rid of the sound. Maybe just use it a little more selectively. That's a good word to use here. Use that a little more selectively, and it won't get quite as repetitive. But I really like this style of D&B, and I think you really know what path you're on, and you're definitely, like I said, headed in the right direction for something like this. You got the vibe definitely down. I like that break you used in the background. Drums could punch a little bit more, but not much. I feel like for this style, having just tight, quick drums like that is definitely a good move. So you've also made some smart choices there. Overall, I'd say you've done a pretty dang good job. Pretty dang good job with that one. All right, yeah, I just did that one. Now we got Fluffy Dragon. I think this is sounding sick. I think one of the problems I have is I think the bass design is a little sporadic. Like some of the basses don't necessarily flow together that well, and that's one of those things that, I mean, it's not an easy thing. Like that's not something that can be just told. It's like, oh, just check this and then all your basses will immediately work great together. It's kind of like I was saying earlier in the stream, where like as you keep producing, you'll figure out, it's like cooking, you'll figure out what ingredients taste good together and what ingredients actually work together. And this is one of those things where the basses themselves individually were really cool. It's more a matter of mixing them all together and making sure they kind of have the same place in the stereo realm, and making sure they have the same frequencies covered and they have at least sort of similar tonalities so they all sound like they're of the same track. That's the only thing. But you got a cool layout. The sound design in here is cool. You have a cool theme to the track going. I also am a sucker for a good theme, so yeah. For only 6 months, this is very impressive. I'd want this drop to hit a little heavier. I think one other note is probably the sub bass tends to be kind of all over the place. Like sometimes it's there really nice and sometimes it's not. It's kind of a back and forth. I'd probably just pick a nice spot to keep the sub where it's consistent all the way through, and this would be dope. Nice, especially for what did you say, you've been producing for like 6 months or something like that? Like for 6 months, that's impressive work. Like that really is good progress for 6 months. I'm a fan of that. Yeah, it really is impressive. I like to hear that, especially I like to hear submissions from the new producers, and they'll be like, yeah, I've only been producing for like this much short amount of time. Like it's cool to see that. It's cool to see that progression. You guys progress fast. All right, we got Z-Lot. I'll do 3 more because it's just about time for me to wrap up at 3 hours here. But I'll do 3 more. This one and then the 2 more right after it. Oh, I forgot I turned the volume up. That was a cool intro. I like that. Gotta listen to new Temanites new stuff. was a cool way to end that drop. I like this. It's a weird mix of like cinematic but like bouncy trap. I don't know. It's a cool experimental mix. I like it a lot. I will say, I think before the drop hit, it was a little strong in the sub region. It's like, cut out that sub and it would still be really monstrous and cool with just some mid-low end going on, and your drop would hit even better. Love that you're making these sick basses have melodic stuff to them. Yeah, that's so cool when you can do that. It's not a particularly melodic bass, but like you're playing a melodic thing. It's so cool when that happens. Yeah, experimental. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Some interesting stuff going on here, I assume.
We are sorry to inform you that the demo has ended. Why are you still here? I mean, it's just the drums, you can leave. Yeah, whatever.
I'm listening all the way through. Just little sound effects at the end. I say leave that in the song. Just make that the outro. Leave it in. Because it's funny. It's funny. It fits good. Gotta hit me with that troll. Reverb on the snare is too much. Yeah, there is a lot of reverb on the snare, but then again, I only really noticed it when I played the part with just the drums. It sounds fine there, right? So maybe that's just a phenomenon that happens when the drums are soloed. But this is dope, obviously. I mean, this is sick. This experimental kind of stuff. I gave my feedback on that, and obviously that part's just the drums. But it's work in progress. So I know you're going to make a really dope, like a sick track just all around. All right. So these are the last two right here. These two people, Code Key and Trexion. Y'all will be the last two. Sorry I couldn't get to everyone, but stream can only last so long. I'm sorry. Got some chiptune chords here. 12-hour stream, jeez. think this is pretty cool. I like the chiptune sound. I think one of the problems with chiptune that I discovered when I was trying to make a chiptune track is that a lot of the frequencies from these sort of Game Boy sounds, these digital 8-bit sounds, they hit in exactly the same regions. So it's really easy for them to stack up all in one place. I've found that you really have to be creative with like the octaves that you use all your sounds in, because if your lead and your chords and your arp and stuff are all hitting in the same place, it's going to be a bunch of the same frequencies happening all at the same time, which a little bit of that is happening here, I think, with the 3 different sounds. You'd have to make sure that even if they're not all separated out in different octaves, that you scoop particular frequencies out of, say, the chords in order to fit the lead, and you really have to get detailed with the sculpting. So it's not as easy as it seems, but I mean, I think this track is still really dope. I like how it's panning. I like how that worked out. I think that was a good conclusion. You had a good solid melodies to work with. They didn't get boring or annoying. Like, it ended up working out good. Is chiptune done with mostly square waves? Square waves, some saw waves, some pulse width modulated square waves, any just like simple waveforms, you know what I'm saying? Just simple waveforms are very commonly used, but most common is probably square waves, pulse width modulated square waves, and maybe some saw waves, a few of those, sine waves, stuff like that. I just listed out all the waves, I realized. Don't listen to me, I'm an idiot. Alright, this is last track of the stream. This is the final one, wrapping it up. Let's give us something good. Oh, you lucked out. Solid intro. I could so see this thing playing at like Tomorrowland, you know what I'm saying? With like the huge crowd and just like a big stage. Like it would work so well. This is a festival tune. Let's hold it up. I love that hit, that down right as the one kick hits. That's awesome. I wish I had more like criticism to give to this, but this is just really good. Like I can see this popping off like anywhere DJs play. like anywhere DJs play, that would be awesome. Like this is definitely a crowd pleaser track. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everyone. It can only last so long, but man, you ended us on a high note here, Code Key. Like you really did. I think this was a really sick track. Definitely a crowd pleaser. I like it a lot. Even though I normally don't go for these festival tracks much, like I can tell when I hear a good one, and this is definitely a good one. Also, was this like a remix, like chop up of the Martin Garrix Animals vocal? I feel like it was. I don't know for sure, but man, it hit hard. Well done. Like it's epic. It's big. It's done. It's done really well. I like it. And was this the MVP of the stream right here, Ganymede, with this one? Yo, timeout. I gotta play this real quick. This is my favorite of the stream. That thing goes so hard. It's so chaotic, but it's like composed well. I love it. I love this thing. Anyway, that was the MVP of this stream. I just love the creativity behind that. Yeah, it's not for everyone, but here's the thing. It's not made for everyone. Not everyone. It's not made for everyone. It's great. It's great though. I love it. Jeez. It's awesome. Thought this was a work in progress feedback. I'll feedback anything that's original work. Like I'm not gonna do the remixes and stuff like that, but anything that's original work, whether it's work in progress or a full thing, like I'll do any of that. I'll be happy to do it. Just know that I will give my criticism on it, whether it's a work in progress or you're done with it. I'm not gonna hold back my actual thoughts on it. That's the one thing. So always be prepared for that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out and sticking with me through the stream. Had a ton of really cool submissions. This was definitely a I feel like it was more melodic of a stream. I feel like these streams are slowly getting more and more melodic. We're getting a lot of good melodic action, which I'm totally fine with. I like melodic music. I think it's really dope, and I think there's a lot of room for critique with melodic elements there too, you know? And I think that's awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. Have a happy Sunday, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy producing. Happy producing. I can never get my mouth around that. Happy producing. Happy producing. I have to record it like 3 times every time.